So the DRS100 drivers, equally close in terms of championship standings at the moment. Championship leader is the number 2 of Callum Gunning. Won the grand final at the first 2 rounds. Not won a grand final since, but was second at Rowrah. 1,554 points for Callum Gunning. Some 33 points ahead of Samuel Cunliffe. So Cunliffe, who was the grand final winner at Rowrah 2 races ago, he also the grand final winner at round 3. And then further, well, 16, 17 points behind is Harry Graham, the number 1. Again, a grand final winner at round 4. And the winner from round 6 at fullback last time out was Nicky Taylor, who's currently 5th in the championship. 80 points or so behind Callum Gunning. Between him and Harry Graham in 3rd is Thomas Harvey. Been a very consistent performer. He's had several second places as Tom Harvey, the number 8. 1,491 points, so he's around 60 points or so behind Callum Gunning. Remember, 65 points for a win in either or the fastest lap in qualifying or a win in one of the heats or the pre-Grand Prix, so that sort of gap could be very quickly eroded. Still very much in it, the top 5 or 6 here. There's another 30 points or so back to George Whitehouse in 6th place in the championship, number 114, and then Joe Sheppy is 4th. He's 7th in the championship, the number 123. 1,408 points. Around 150 points between him and Callum Gunning. But when you look at the accumulated totals being at 1,500 or so already, which gives you an indication of how quickly things can change in the DRS series. Another excellent way of scoring points to ensure that the titles will go down to the wire. There's no doubt about that. As we look at the back of Samuel Cunliffe, number 6, gives you a great view of the technology. And out they come to begin their qualifying session. 10 minutes then to sort themselves out into some sort of order. Spend a couple of laps just trying to ensure that everything's up to temperature. They all went out this morning on brand new Vega tyres. So those tyres will go through a chemical cycle, if you like. The shiny top surface is burnt away very quickly. That leads to the tyre starting to degrade and to wear. And they'll come up to temperature very quickly. And these drivers will start to put in some consistently quick lap times. And the drivers that we'd certainly expect to see towards the sharp end are the likes of Sam Cunliffe, Callum Gunning, Joe Sheppy as well. Fastest so far, and we are in the very early stages, but the fastest lap of 47.1 so far for the 132. The 132 is Daniel Holdsworth, so Holdsworth was the early pace setter. Now Callum Gunning has just got himself into a nice rhythm, a 46 flat for him. interesting as the drivers go up the back straight here. And they go up what they call the Spitfire straight at the back of this circuit. They head into the Dell. You'll see on the camera as we follow some of the drivers through that section, it's almost overhung by trees on the right hand side of that straight. And what that means is there is quite a lot of leaves on the circuit, so may prove to cause some of the drivers that go offline maybe a little bit more slippery. We'll see now as they go through Chandler's and they head up this straight. There's quite a lot of debris, quite a lot of leaves on the left of the circuit there. So the drivers who are having to go offline, got a warning flag out as well for the 114 of George Whitehouse. So Whitehouse, who's currently down in 5th place at the moment. So Gunning, Sheppy, Holdsworth. The 125 of Alicia Palmowski. Then Sam Cunliffe now goes up to 3rd. So Cunliffe then half a second slower than Callum Gunning. Gunning's made a really strong start, hasn't he? 45.1 straight out the blocks, and has managed to get that DRS car, that Daniel Ricciardo car, hooked up very, very quickly here around Llandow. 6/10 advantage over George Whitehouse at the moment. Palmowski is 4th, Sheppy is 5th. The number 7 of Dylan Reid is in 6th place. Then the 132 of Daniel Holdsworth. And then the 104 has just displaced him, so Rowan Campbell-Pilling up into 7th place. A new fastest lap so far for Cunliffe. Whitehouse up then, and then straight into 4th place, the 134 of Cody Eustace. So Eustace putting his fastest lap of the qualifying session so far. As we look down towards the fastest man in the session, the bright yellow helmet of Callum Gunning, championship leader, will be looking to gather a handful more points here in this qualifying session. 65 points available for the fastest driver come the end of the 10 minutes, and we are about halfway through that now. So as we look down towards the drivers coming out of the Dell and down this hanger straight towards Raymond's, which is the final corner, carry as much speed as they can through that chicane, takes them onto this final section, sweeping right-hander, brings them back down towards start-finish with a little kink left, and then into the hook. Remember, you can interact with us here via the live stream, which is on YouTube. Also live stream via our Facebook feed as well. Just search for Daniel Ricciardo Series on Facebook. You can interact with us live here at Llandow. Post your comments, post your support for the drivers that you're looking out for throughout today's racing. Already seen some comments of support for the likes of Alicia Palmowski. She is 4th at the moment, as we've seen the great replay there of the 114 of George Whitehouse, who just caught the rumble strip on the way out of the Dell. Will have lost maybe a couple of tenths of a second. Here he is again, so he's managed to get it right this time, and he's 1/10 of a second slower than Callum Gunning as Rowan Campbell-Pilling moves up into 6th place, a 45.8 for him. So Gunning, Whitehouse, then the 7 of Declan Reid. Then Palmovski, half a second off further back, and Gunning goes faster. 45 flat for Callum Gunning, just puts another buffer of 700ths of a second between himself and George Whitehouse in second. Then it's Reid and Palmovski and Sheppy and Cunliffe, who certainly isn't minding to hook it up at the moment. All the way back in 6th place for Samuel Cunliffe, and that is not what he will have wanted from a perspective of his championship aspirations. He's going to give away some more points to Callum Gunning at the moment. Has Sam Cunliffe got anything left in the locker? He's 7th at the moment as we look at the 1-2-5 of Alicia Palmovski, who crosses start finish. She's got a nice little toe at the moment, just behind one of the rookie drivers in front of her, so she'll be on the chase, hoping not to lose too much time in the traffic as Cunliffe dives past the back marker and is followed through by Dylan Reid, 16-year-old, in 3rd at the moment, tucked up behind Cunliffe. Can Reid push Cunliffe along a little bit? Can he help him to find some time as they go through the dell, and Cunliffe looks over his right shoulder, gets into the slipstream, does Reid, decides not to find a way past through Raymond's, and here they come to complete another lap. Does he go faster this time, Cunliffe? No. Still in 7th place, 45.8, 8/10 behind Callum Gunning at the moment. And Gunning has gone faster still, 44.942. The first driver to duck under the 45-second barrier is Callum Gunning. Whitehouse is still 2nd, and Reid and Palmovski and Sheppy, then Pilling and Cunliffe, and then 8th place for the 1-3-4 of Cody Eustace. And then Holdsworth moves up, Daniel Holdsworth up into 10th place, and Humphreys behind him at 46.2. Still over a second slower than the fastest driver on circuit at the moment, which is the number 2 of Callum Gunning, and we are in the absolute closing stages now. Let's keep our eye on Reid, 3rd fastest. So Dylan Reid then heads up towards the dell, right, left, right again, carry as much speed onto this long back straight as they can, and into the final corner at Raymond's. This will be the last chance then for Dylan Reid. Does he go faster? Whitehouse has already gone through, he hasn't improved this time, and neither has Reid. Can Cunliffe do anything in 7th place at the moment? No. So none of the drivers in the top 7 have gone any faster this time. Sheppy establishes and secures his 5th place, the 1-2-3 of Joe Sheppy, and Gunning has gone through as well. So we are as we were. Callum Gunning then, fastest driver in the first of the qualifying sessions for the DRS100s. George Whitehouse 2nd, Dylan Reid is 3rd, Alicia Palmovski 4th fastest, some 6/10 of a second slower than Callum Gunning. Joe Sheppy, Rowan Campbell Pilling. Sam Cunliffe, how disappointed will they be in the Cunliffe camp after a 7th place qualifying finish, 8/10 of a second slower than Callum Gunning. Then Cody Eustace, Luke Wildgoose, Daniel Holdsworth, they're the top 10. As the rest of them stream through. The session is finished, so I'm not sure why they're all still going round, and we haven't had a checkered flag at start finish. So what the drivers are doing now is effectively just circling for no reason, because the session is finished. But because they've not been given the indication from start finish, they'll all still think they're on flying laps. So now the checkered flag goes out. Not quite sure how that occurred. So we can confirm that Callum Gunning was the fastest driver in the first of the 2 DRS100 sessions. He was the only driver to duck under the 44-second barrier with a 45-second barrier with a 44.9 for him. So then it's over to the second group of the B group of DRS100 drivers as they prepare to take to circuit. Those of you that are looking at the schedule, it's 10:50, scheduled for 10:50, the DRS 100 qualifying B, so it will follow pretty much immediately after this one. Don't forget, you can interact with us live here at Llandow via our YouTube live stream, via our Facebook live stream as well. So 1 down, 1 to go for the DRS 100s as they all enter Parc Fermé